I came across a case study of a tech entrepreneur who went from 0 to 1 billion within 1 year. And as he was sharing and really sharing all aspects, like how he started doing things differently and what he exactly did, the huge breakthrough that I had was that he was using the manifestation principles upside down. Whatever you know about manifestation today, what if it turns it on its head? That's what he was doing. And I started to use those principles in my own business. And what I found was shocking. For my brand new corporate consultancy, I started to attract partnership with major tech companies, like the biggest in the market globally. And not only that, I manifested $1 million partnership within 3 weeks. Clients, contracts, opportunities, sales, everything just started to flood in, and it felt like that the doors are just opening, or maybe the doors have always been open. And what I'm going to share with you will help you experience the same. So reflecting on what I did and what I learned from him, I created a quadrant with 4 different aspects. So it's like a formula with 4 different aspects that actually result in quantum leap. In a leap which doesn't have any logic, which doesn't make sense, which cannot be justified or explained on paper how it can happen. But this is what the definition of quantum leap is, isn't it? So I want to share with you these 4 principles, what you can apply straight away in your business and realize that quantum leap is a lot easier than you think. So in order to understand this quadrant, the first thing that we have to really change and redefine is time. We think that time is happening in the series, right? It's past, present, future. You can string scene by scene, and that's how your life is going. But in the universe in its entirety, the concept of time doesn't exist. That's why when you go on Mars, it's a completely different time. When you are going on another planet, or if you go near the black hole, the time all of a sudden stops. If you are flying on the plane, the time starts to move really slowly. So the time actually doesn't exist. And whatever is happening in the entire universe, whether you think it's happening in a series of steps, is actually all here right now. Even according to science and religion, all the creation is finished. There is nothing to be created nor destroyed, which actually means is that whatever you are going to experience, whatever you could potentially experience, whatever you can think is your possibility is already happening simultaneously now. And when you realize that, what you realize is that what is coming in your reality is not depending on what is in the future, or what is happening after a certain period of time. It's dependent on what you are conscious of being and what you believe to be true about yourself right now. So there is a quantum wave with infinite possibilities, infinite particles, and the way that waves collapse is based on the observer. So as an observer, what you are impressing on the wave, what you are expecting, the whole wave will collapse into one reality, and that's what you experience later and later. So this is how it works. You have the option to choose from infinite possibilities, and whatever you observe in any moment defines your next moment. What I started to realize that there are 4 things which are really powerful for us to impress that consciousness on the wave of possibilities, so that we can collapse time into what we really desire and experience the quantum shift. The first thing which you need from that quadrant is identity, and a very solid, powerful, limitless, incredible identity. Because what you're conscious of being is what you're impressing on the quantum. That's the reality that is visible to you from all the possibilities that already exist. What are you conscious of being? Shifting your identity is very easy because it means you don't change anything about you. You just change the way you see you, which is effortless. Now, what I started doing was I started to choose ridiculous identities. When I say ridiculous, I mean in a really positive way. I started to choose identities that could take my breath away. For instance, I took on an identity of a person for whom every door is open. Identity of a person that there is a huge demand for what I do. Identity of a person that I am excellent in the world for what I do, right? Another identity that I took on was that everything comes so easy to me. Now, a lot of people choose affirmations and they keep on affirming for years and don't see any result. This is the difference between just affirmations and identity shift. You don't just affirm it at a conscious level and not impress it on the quantum wave of possibilities. In fact, what you do is you ask yourself, how would I be if that was true? How would I be if I truly believe that I'm really good at what I do? How would I be if I truly believe that there is a huge demand and for what I do? Now, being comes in three ways: thinking, feeling, and action. When you are being somebody, let's say you're being a parent, you think, feel, and act differently, right? When you're being somebody else, you think, feel, and act differently. So you take on that identity. So what I asked myself was, how would I act and think and feel differently if I believed that there was a huge demand for what I do? And the answer that I got was that I would show up so confidently. I would go and talk to people. I would go with the assumption that whoever I'm talking to needs what I have, what I've got. They value it. They're looking for it. I would convey my message and position my work very confidently. I know I'm a big deal. And as I started to embody that identity, as I started to think, feel, and act that way, I also started to attract those people who are a match for that identity, because outer reality is a mirror of what you are projecting from your self-image, from your identity. Okay? Made a few tweaks to my identity, and when I did that, my results changed like night or day. A lot of companies started to approach us. A lot of people we approached were like, of course we need this. How can we meet? What are the next steps? And one of the things that we started to experience, every company started saying, how can we partner with you? How can we work with you? Because there was a huge demand and we are so good at doing that. And every single door is open. You can take a few tweaks in your identity. One of the misconceptions is I need to change thousands of beliefs and thousands of identity and patterns. No, you just need few significant tweaks and you see your outer reality change like night and day. The second thing which is really important when you are doing that is nervous system regulation. If you think of your nervous system like a pipe, and it can only hold based on its capacity. Anything more, it starts to feel heavy, it's tighter, you feel janky, you disconnect, it feels weird, you don't feel safe. What you really want to start doing is you want to start regulating your nervous system. That means your nervous system can also be affected by what happened in your past, what your experience have been, what you're told about yourself, how maybe you had certain things in your childhood that were not as such a huge trauma, but they really affected how you see yourself. Or maybe there were some big traumas. So anytime you start to experience the things that are against or that are touching those points where you were wounded growing up, you will feel that roller coaster. You'll feel you want to disconnect. You will feel a resistance. You will feel like you're getting in your own way. And that's on what I started to do is I started to really regulate my nervous system at a body level. A lot of people talk about mindset work, but your income ceiling is in your body. The amount of money that you earn every single month that you attract, that is in your bank account, is reflected of how your nervous system is, how regulated it is, and how much it can hold. And just doing the mindset work is not enough. So what you want to do is you want to look at the belief or the thing or the trauma, and first of all, you can change it at a mental level and say, I choose to see a new thing. But when you change it at a mental level, your body still is holding it. Your body still remembers what your mind forgets. What you do is you think of the thing that's triggering you and you see where it feels in the body. You locate the sensation. And instead of dimming it down, or sometimes you're so disconnected with our body that we can't even feel it, we don't even know, you be really present with your body and you see where the sensation is, and then you increase it. Instead of dimming it down, you increase it by 10, make it level 10, and then you start breathing into that sensation. You start to really breathing into it until the sensation is gone. For some people, they might feel sensation somewhere else, which is a sign that it is also affecting some other parts of your body. And you keep breathing in. Maybe you want to cry. Maybe you want to move. Maybe you want to scream in the pillow. Do the things to process that. A lot of times when people are regulating the nervous system, what they do is they try to rationally just get rid of the thought, or they try to switch the thought, or they try to put a lot of pressure to be able to process it faster, all those things will cause more resistance. You want to develop a relationship with your body. You want to develop a very strong and trusting and loving relationship with your inner child, where you can start feeling that and fully, and your body starts trusting you. And in the beginning, if you start to do this work, you might even feel a little bit sleepy, which could be the reason that your body doesn't feel safe for you for it to open up, and it's putting you in sleep so that it doesn't have to do that, because the prime responsibility and focus of your body is to keep you safe. So if that is the case, then use this affirmation that I'm open to see what my past is. There is nothing in the past that I cannot face. I'm open to release. I am open to be with myself and support my nervous system, my inner child. I'm here for you. And all those things can really help your body give that trust that you can open up and release those feelings. The important part is sensation in the body, without judging it, without trying to control it, without rationalizing it, without numbing it, fully feeling it through breath work. Taking deep breath in and breathing out, breathing into that place so that it gets released from your body, and your nervous system increases the capacity to hold more money. Your income ceiling goes way up, right? Before I share the third thing that you really want to focus on, I want to share with you something that Neville Goddard suggested. A lot of people, when they used to go to Neville Goddard and had questions, are almost asking on the same lines, and he noticed a pattern. What he realized was that a lot of people experience poverty of imagination and lack of focus. And therefore, it seems like they're hitting this invisible ceiling, they're hitting this brick wall. They're trying, but it's not working. And what is happening is that they lack focus, stay on their vision no matter what. You might experience that the outer reality is controlling you. The outer reality is not letting you stay on that frequency. There are things happening, but the reason you often experience that is because you have lack of focus. And Andrew Carnegie, who was the first ever billionaire, he was a Scottish boy who moved to United States. His family was so poor that they couldn't even afford to send him to school. So he had to leave his school and start getting involved in the child labor so that he could pay for their living expenses. He became the first ever billionaire on the planet, first ever billionaire. And when people asked him, like, how did you do it? You don't have education, you don't have connections, your family didn't have those connections. How did you actually become the first ever billionaire? The person who owned the whole industry of steel in United States, the entire industry was owned by one person, Andrew Carnegie. And what he said was that I have the ability to focus over one thing over a long period of time as compared to other people. So he had this faculty, which we have our higher faculty called will, which is the power to focus on one idea over a long period of time. And when you can do that, you can stay on that frequency, you keep receiving ideas. The problem that happens with our mind is going there and it's going there. And then we have this thing, and then something happened, and then we are thinking of the different scenarios. And especially in this age of social media, focus is the biggest thing that everybody's fighting for on internet. And our focus gets diluted so much. It gets attacked by so much external stimulation. So I'm going to suggest you two powerful exercises that you can do. One you can do with the candle, one you can do with the dot. You can put a dot on the wall, or you can light a candle in front of you and sit across it. And then you look at the candle and you think about the candle. And when you are focusing on the candle, your mind will start wandering around, and you will think of the idea, oh, I need to do this. Oh, this person, I need to make a call. Or this person has an appointment with me. I need to figure out, oh, my client, whatever that is. What you want to do is you want to bring your attention back to the candle, and you want to train your mind to focus on the candle. Look at the candle and think about the candle. Start with 15 minutes, then go for 20, then go for half an hour, and you can build your focus. An average person in this era has 3-second focus if we stretch it, right? And you can build it up to in 1 hour, and you see the magic, because then you can hold one idea on the screen of your mind over a period of time, so you can receive all the downloads, intuition, everything, and not get distracted by so many things happening. So if you find yourself doing a bit of that and doing something else and then getting distracted, it's because your mind doesn't have a clear picture. What's happening in the mind is reflected in your actions. So what you really want to do is you want to program your mind to focus on one thing. And the most powerful thing in the equation is imagination. Poverty, lack of imagination, like never, is imagination. And imagination is the most important life and business tool that you have. It's the most marvelous and miraculous and inconceivable power that the world has ever seen, according to Napoleon Hill. So this is your biggest power, using your imagination to manifest and stay on that frequency where you receive the downloads, where you receive the ideas, where you receive all the instincts, where you attract the things, where you impress that reality on the quantum wave so that it collapses into what you are desiring. Now, when you work on the identity and focus and nervous system regulation, they all play a role for you to stay in your imagination and really harness that. And this is also a muscle that you can develop. There are really, really powerful things that I do in my work and in my life to harness and really use my imagination in a very beautiful way. So the first thing that I do is I spend every day 15 to 30 minutes really mentally experiencing and thinking and creating scenarios of what I want in detail. And I really live there. The benefit with that is that first, you're training your mind to normalize that. So when that thing happens, you're not feeling like, oh, that is too big, or I don't feel I deserve it. Secondly, you operate on that frequency. So I create different scenarios. For instance, if I am manifesting signing a contract, I see myself going in that place. What does it look like? What is the smell? What is the sound? What can I touch? What can I see? So I use all five senses and I see every single detail. If you want to speak on the stage, can you see the stage? Can you see people? What are you actually saying? Can you deliver your message in your mind? And when you do that, what I've seen, which is something really crazy, is you start to get the ideas which were the missing piece of the puzzle, which you probably didn't know, and you get those answers and you get those ideas, you get those like missing dots that you need to manifest. And it's really, really powerful because it fills the gap between what you know now and what you need to know to manifest that. So not only you operate on that frequency, not only you normalize that thing to receive, but also you receive the missing dots because you operate on that frequency, and then you pull things from that frequency from the quantum. So it is really powerful. The other thing what I do is my whole playlist is a preview of the life that I am desiring. And I've manifested the life I'm living the same way. I had a different playlist. And as things started manifesting, I created a new playlist. So one song really is about the car that I have. And I see myself sitting in that car, having that chauffeur who is driving me around. What am I feeling? What am I looking? And the bonus thing is you can go and test drive that car to experience it in the physical. And one song is about the house, one song is about whom I'm being, my work, what I'm delivering, what's happening, what I'm experiencing. One song is about me being bold. Even if you look at my nail color, I have this one black. Although I've never in my life used black nail polish because it's a bit too much for me, but this is my sign, this is my symbol to always act bold, to always activate my most bold self. So you can even use perfume to activate, to connect that feeling with that smell of perfume. So every time you put it, it reminds you. You can use your whole physical reality, where you sleep, what you have, what you're wearing, how you're moving, to your vision. So every time when you're moving through that, it reminds you that it's already done. So everything in your life is a proof, is a symbol of the fact that it's already done. And then you can observe that reality more. And what you realize is that you are putting that impression on the quantum wave, and that thing becomes your reality. It comes in your physical. Okay, this is really, really powerful, using your imagination. And when you are regulated, when you have focus, and when you have the right identity, your imagination is magnified 100 times. So while using all these formulas, what you can do is you can land on your manifestation so much faster that it wouldn't make any sense to people around you, on logic, but you will know that whatever you choose from the infinite possibilities, it gets to come in your physical now.